Men not working are crashing the economy.
During we told young men, don't go to work, it's dangerous. Don't make a plan, the world's coming to an end. Move home with your mother, she'll take care of you. Sit on the couch, watch, eat DoorDash, scroll through social media until you have mental illness, and that's fine, we'll deposit money in your account. And so now you got a bunch of fearful, soft beta males who are passive with mental health, a whole generation. They've never seen a dad in the home. They've never seen a man get up and go to work. So they don't understand that that's what a man is, and that's what a man does.
Men not working are crashing the economy, guys. We see what's happening. The markets are collapsing. Things are going wild, and men don't give a damn. Watch the end of the video to understand why men not working are crashing the economy, the implications it has for society, for women, and the future of mankind. Let's just go ahead and jump right into the first video.
All right, what's up, TikTok? Emergency breaking news. The stock markets are crashing. This is information, educational. This is all facts, okay? It is 8/5/2024, August 5th, 2024. It is a Monday, and overnight, it was daytime in Japan and South Korea, but their markets started to collapse and they had to shut their markets down. Now, in the United States, now that the markets are open, $2 trillion out within the first hour of the markets being open. Black Monday? Yeah, here it is. All of the trade brokers, apps down. They're shutting them down. They're not letting you trade. So institutions can trade, but the private people can trade. Crypto is going down. We told you all this would happen right before election season, right before interest cuts. All of this was going to happen, and when they cut interest rates, it's just going to hyperinflate everything. And so Japan's economy is in the gutter. They hold U.S. Treasury bonds. They're the #1 holder of U.S. Treasury bonds. So they're going to start dumping their Treasury bonds, which is going to hyperinflate our economy. And everything is still tied to the world reserve currency, the U.S. dollar. That's what they've been changing. That's what they've been working on with BRICS to de-dollarize. Everything that has been happening over the last, well, it's been going on for decades, but everything since 2020 has been systematically a domino to get ready for this.
Provoked for men who refuse to step into this. I feel grief for you. I want more for you, and I want more for your wives and more for your children. Everything works right when men are being men instead of boys who can shave. And oh, that we would grow into what God, man, we're going to stumble. It's hard. God meant it to be hard. That's how much he loves you. He's going to make sure you couldn't do it on your own. You're going to need to sit in the driveway and pray. You were going to need to late at night go, Lord, help me. I will kill somebody. Lord, help me. Help me right now, Lord. Give me a verse. Not that one. Give me nothing Old Testament. Give me something happy. Give me something out of the Psalms. There we go. Thank you, Lord. Right?
You meet your wife and you consummate your covenant, she's your standard of beauty. Now what this means is anybody else you meet, that's not your standard of beauty. In addition, as she gets older, she is your standard of beauty at that age. So if you meet her at 20 and you're married for 50 years, which is awesome, your standard of beauty is a 70-year-old woman. And ultimately, what everything in our culture mitigates against is this kind of thinking and living, and it leads to tremendous brokenness.
I don't care what anybody says, but a guy should always be paying for dates. I already know the men are going to come in my comments crying and screaming. I don't care. If you're okay with splitting the bill, if you're okay with taking turns paying, if you're okay with being the one that's paying for most of the things, fine. That's on you, girl. But me, There are men out there who are literally paying for full-blown vacations for women, flying them out, paying for every single thing they could ever want. And you're gonna let a man make you split on a first date? Some men are providers and some men aren't. Some men want to give you the world in that aspect, and some men want to do 50-50, and that's fine. That's not what I want. I'm sorry, but if I'm having your baby, if I'm giving birth to a whole ass human and going through everything that I have to do for that, I am not doing 50-50.
If you gonna try to take me out, you better bring it. That needs to be splurged on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, she calling. Yo.
Hello, I'm excited to go on our date.
Yeah, I'm excited too. Where you taking me?
Yeah, make your pockets hurt. I was thinking chili.
Oh, no. No, boo.
Wait, so you don't want to go on a date?
Nah, I mean like no, boo. Like that's where we going. It's either no, boo or nothing.
Hey, thanks for picking me up.
Hey, why am I picking you up?
What do you mean?
I'm saying you got a car too. You got a better car than me. So,
But you're the man, so I didn't know.
y'all hear this?
Yeah, she sounds lackluster to me, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you didn't bring no flowers. You didn't bring no bracelet from me. No pendant from my chain.
I'm gonna be honest. She doesn't sound like a serious suitor.
Yo, like, you know how girls were always out here like, oh, can I bring a friend on our date? Guys, we need to start doing, like, listen, that's what men need to start doing too. For example, there's no reason that you can't roll with the homies. I'm just being honest. Like, you know, these women have money too. They could pick you up, they could pick the homies up, they could take y'all out, and they could show you a good time. All right. You know, go out with the boys, like, because those people are very important in your life. If you have a good friend in your life, that man is very important. Women need to learn how to respect our friends, because our friends are our family. So they need to know how to respect our friends, because if our friends don't approve of her, then we don't approve of her, and it's just not going to fly. So then she needs to be able to show that she is generous. She is generous with her time. She is generous with her money, and you know, and that she's going to treat us like the gentlemen that we are. It's as simple as that. So we need to. So, you know, if we want to bring our friends, she should not be intimidated. All right. And when we do bring our friends, she needs to pay for everything, and she needs to tip. I don't like tipping. I don't believe in tipping. I don't personally do tipping. I tell people don't tip. But when we go out together, they need to tip, and they need to tip well. That's really what's up. That's really what's up, you know, because my time is valuable and her time is our time. That's exactly how, that's the way I see it. That's just the way I see it, you know. Guys, men are not working. Men are not working, and this is leading to a major crash in the economy, because men are basically not good. Guys, this is different. Men are not stepping up this time. Men are not coming to save society. Men are not coming to save women. Women don't even realize what they have done. There's no going back, guys. All of these old people, all of the baby boomers, this is hell on earth for them. They won't be able to live off that Social Security. That fund is going to run. Guys, all of these baby boomers are going to be rushing to retire now. All right? They're going to be rushing to retire now and clean that out. That's going to result in the Social Security fund depleting much faster, as they're all rushing for Social Security. To make matters worse, you're gonna have tons of people now filing for disability, and not just women, all right, not just old people. Oh no, but lots of men filing for disability, saying, nah, I'm gonna collect mine. I'm about to go and get mine now. And you have men who worked for decades. They have bad backs. Their backs are messed up. They have all of this documented. All right, all of this documented. All they have to do is go to the doctor, get an X-ray, and they're going to say, bro, you are disabled. You are 100% disabled. There are so many men who 100% meet the definition of disability right now. And they're just going to go out there and file for disability. You're going to file for disability, collect that disability check, and you're allowed to work. And you can make money on disability. So they're going to be double dipping. You're going to have men collecting disability and making income, and living very, very comfortable lives, making income off investments, making income off real estate, making income from various areas, all right? Working under the table, making income from overseas. You've got guys like MK Fitness that are teaching English in China. He lives in the Philippines. He teaches English in China, all right? And they can keep all of that money overseas. That's another thing men are going to be doing, is offshoring, keeping their money out of the United States, setting up accounts outside of the United States, just like Apple does. Apple keeps most of its money out of the US. Hundreds of billions of dollars out of the US. What do you think men are going to do? Men are going to start learning the same system that these major corporations are using, and they're going to keep all of their money. They're going to start keeping their money out of the US. They're going to keep it in crypto. They're going to keep it in Bitcoin. Guys, this is going to be one of the greatest times to buy some Bitcoin. Because the way things are looking, people are rushing away from the economy right now. They're running away. They're like, oh my God, this is terrible. All right. Me personally, I'm looking for Bitcoin to have. Right now, it's like at 53,000. I'm looking for it to come down to about 25, and then I'm ready to jump back in. Yeah. I'm telling you. because it's going to be, guys, it's going to be a fire sale. Everything is going to be on sale. Everything is going to be on sale. All right? People are going to be for sale. Everything's going to be for sale. These women who are like, oh, I don't care what a man says. I don't care about these men in the comments say they're not paying for anything. They think that they still have all this power. They have all of this control, and they're going to get whatever they like because guys, the simps don't have it. The simp economy is not an endless pot. The simp economy over in China has now collapsed. It has collapsed. All the gold diggers are crying. You have women saying that, oh, China, I wish I could simp for a man. But I can't even find a man who will allow me to simp for him because they won't even speak to me. Even if I'm good looking, I'm 38. They won't even speak to me. They won't even let me buy them gifts. This is all men going their own way, men walking away and men going their own way and saying we're done with society. The men going their own way, they're basically saying they want to live separate lives from society and from relationships. They don't plan on coming back. They're not going overseas to become passport kings. If you're a man who says that you don't want to have anything to do with relationships in Western society or society itself, but you're open to going overseas and finding someone overseas, that's not an MGTOW. That's an MWA. MGTOWs are men who say they are done with relationships, dating, everything, and society, and they want to live separate lives from relationships and society. Those are MGTOWs. Those are the real dangerous men because they don't care anymore. They've left and they've gone their own way and they're not coming back. And they're telling everyone. And here's the thing, even if you shut it down, they're banning the term. It doesn't matter. And I'm not an advocate for MGTOW. All right. I'm an advocate for relationships. I'm an advocate for families. I'm an advocate for men and women building lives together. But what are women doing? Women are the greatest cheerleaders of MGTOW. They're the ones that are pushing men towards it. And even in the worst and harshest of times, they're going to be on TikTok putting out videos like this. And then when things get really bad, they're going to start trying to gaslight men. Like, men, we don't know what you're talking about. We don't know why you don't want to be in relationships. You know who hurts you or God does, and they start trying to use God against you. You'll see these pastors like the one I just showed you on television trying to convince men to come back. These are slave catchers. And the more they try to punish men and penalize men for walking away or going their own way, the worse it's going to get. What do you think happened, y'all, after the Roman Empire collapsed? Or prior to the Roman Empire collapsing? What do you think happened prior to the Roman Empire collapsing? No-fault divorces led to men walking away and going their own way. The Emperor of Rome said that men, unmarried single men, were worse than all of the thieves and criminals in the entirety of the Roman Empire. They were barred from going to the Colosseum. They were barred from going to the theater. They were banned from wrestling. So no video games for you. No television for you. No movies for you. No public events for you whatsoever. And we're going to punish you even more. Because during the winter time, when it's ice cold outside, we're going to make you run in the streets like it's a chain gang. And you're going to run in the streets to punish you. And guess what? Men still would not get married. And eventually, within 100 years, they no longer had a military. They no longer had men producing anything. They were relying entirely off indentured servant labor. And if these people could run away, they would run away. And they were completely relying on barbarians, barbarians working as mercenaries to protect the empire. And then one day the barbarians said, well, wait a minute, you're trying to pay us in land, not gold, not silver, not anything tangible of value. Not even sheep. You're not even paying us in food. You're trying to pay us in land to protect your land. My bet is that you don't have anyone. You have no soldiers. You have no means of protecting yourself. In fact, you can't even provide for yourself. You're barely providing for yourself. So you know what? I'm going to call your bluff and I'm going to pillage the empire. And that's exactly what happened. They called the emperor's bluff. They realized that the emperor had no clothes. They pillaged the Roman Empire. We were plunged into 1,000 years of darkness. And all of that started with no-fault divorces. It got so bad that eventually they went and banned no-fault divorces, but it was too late by that point. Because because at the height of the Roman Empire, when they were thriving, someone got the great idea that women need more empowerment and freedom. And it started with no-fault divorces and women divorcing their husbands, running off with gladiators, and sticking the empire and their husbands with the bill. And when men said, "No, we're not doing this anymore. We're leaving. We don't care," the empire began to fall apart. And within 100 years, it had collapsed because men stopped working and protecting and providing and being told that today your sole purpose, your predominant purpose is to be disposable, to provide and protect society. And that is what God wants you to do. That's what God puts you here to do, to provide and protect women, children, and society, to give more than you receive, to not worry about yourself, but worry about others. And your reward will be in heaven. That is indoctrination. That is psychotic. Think about this. More women were on the lifeboats than children when the Titanic sank. What does that tell you about society? And simps are cowards. While the simps are out here throwing all of this money away, the simps will never actually be real providers and protectors. The simps are cowards. When the going gets tough, a lot of these simps will abandon their lady loves, all right, and go into hiding. All of those women on Only Fools and Lonely Fans, they're going to be guys, that platform is being shut down. It's been under investigation for roughly 4 to 5 years now. The DOJ, the criminal division of the IRS, they're shutting it down for all of the garbage that's on there. And here's the thing. Once you've been on OnlyFans, it's on your taxes. You get a 1099, and employers can request a copy of your tax returns. And they will see on there that you worked, that you worked for OnlyFans. And they immediately are going to say no. There's software now that lets them find out instantly, evidently, or rapidly. If you've ever been on any of these platforms, if you have an history online, they're using social ranking systems, social credit systems. These women will never be able to return to the workforce. Forget about working at McDonald's, as everyone's fighting for those McDonald's jobs. You won't get one. And a lot of those jobs are going to be replaced by automation as customers and consumers pull back. What's the fastest way of lowering prices while still maintaining profits? Cutting employees. How can we do this over the long term? Well, we might take a dip in the short term, investing in this technology, but in the long term, we're going to see maximum amounts of profits. So we're going to automate as much of the process as possible. Goodbye, DoorDash. Here's what they're doing. Here's what DoorDash, Uber, guys, automate. All of these taxis are becoming automated. There are no less than 5 companies that are working on or have already released automated driverless cars that will pick you up and drive you wherever you need to go. And what's the benefit of this? You will always know the kind of car that's going to pick you up. You will always have a nice, brand new SUV that is comfortable, that would be Uber luxury, that will pick you up. So you'll never have to worry about leg space ever again. And you don't have to tip for the trip. There's no awkwardness or anything whatsoever. It's literally from point A to point B. You don't have to interact with a person. A lot of you are like, not me. I don't care. I'll always, if I can't use a person, then I'm not doing it. Gen Z doesn't like interacting with people. They're the first ones that'll hop in. Millennials, they transitioned into technology, or some of them were born into technology. So they're going to jump into this quickly. And while a lot of Gen Xers, they walk around with Gen X rage, a lot of them are just going to say, F it. It's not like I was going to be here every day. It's not like I was going to be here forever anyway. Gen Xers are some of the most technologically advanced generation. I'll tell you the reason why. Because they know how to do it without technology. They know how to survive without technology. They created most of the technology that we use today, not the boomers. So they are masters of tech. So they'll transition to it as well. And all that food and the lever, what are they leveraging? The prices are going to remain the same, but you won't have to tip for that trip anymore. And now that they know that that's the case, what they'll do is they'll gradually increase the prices as well. But it won't matter because consumers are still going to say, well, it's still cheaper than having to tip. It's still cheaper than having to tip and interacting with a person. And then as the technology rolls out and becomes normalization, the money that they would have charged for a tip, the driver would have charged for a tip, they'll just add that back in now. So now they can charge even more. But they'll get you accustomed to not having to tip, and then they'll just add that in, what you would have been tipping in the first place, once the technology becomes normalized. But by then, it won't matter anymore, because it'll be your choice. You can use, now that everyone's comfortable using driverless cars, you can use a driverless car, or you can pay for a driver. That's going to cost more as well. Because it's going to start costing more to have a driver than use a driverless car. And even if it doesn't, once everyone's comfortable with a driverless car, why would I have to worry about, why would I have to worry and, about what kind of car is coming and putting up with someone who has a bad attitude when I could just have a driverless car? And there are a lot of you like, no, these people need the jobs. Go and support them yourself. All right. No one is entitled to a job. No one is entitled to a tip. There are many of you who don't think that, you talk crap to me about the work that I do. I have to create 3 thumbnails for every video that I release. I've had to study extensive graphic design. I have to know exactly how to design these thumbnails so that people will click on them, so that the title and the thumbnail aligns, and then the video is designed in such a way that it will create curiosity so people will want to continue watching. I have to know how to do prompt engineering because every single thumbnail, virtually every thumbnail I make right now, I use artificial intelligence to design the perfect thumbnail to convey what the video is about. That is prompt engineering. It's a form of coding. And I have to do all of that, sometimes in a couple of minutes, to get these videos to you while editing them. Most people don't have these skill sets, and I can then turn around and leverage these skill sets to other companies that need them, to create prompts, to do graphic design work, to edit. No one realizes that we are now entering into the creator economy. There's not going to be any comfy 9-to-5 job waiting for most people anymore. Those jobs, when the depression hits, guys, those jobs are going away and they're never going to come back. And I've been warning you for years that automation was going to wipe these jobs out. And the events of 2020 delayed this. It delayed it, but guess what? It's happening now. And Trump can't stop this. He can't stop it. He can't delay it. We're going to have years of hardship, years and years of hardships. And men don't care because the average man could live comfortably in a shoebox at the side of the road. You're going to see tons of men becoming millionaires and stinking rich during this depression. And I hope it's a deep, 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 dark depression. I hope it's hard. I hope so many struggle. Because I've suffered throughout my life, and suffering creates resilience, or you just don't make it. Guys, men not working are crashing the economy, and what the future outlook is, there's going to be a lot of poverty, a lot of destitution, and women are not going to be able to find men to supplement their living. Think about it. 45% of all women are projected to be childless and single come 2030. That number is likely going to be higher, I truly believe, 50 to 60%. And then when you factor in the single mothers that number is really like 80, maybe 80 to 90%. It's going to be a nightmare. And then on top of it, there's all the, women right now, they're setting it up so that women will automatically be drafted into the military. And with 77% of Gen Zers not able to be drafted, All right, 77% of Gen Zers can't be drafted. 77%, almost. That was back in 2020. All right, prior to the events of 2020, where everything shut down, it was already at 77%. All right, of these little jokers could not be drafted, could not serve in the military. They could not even serve. Forget about being even drafted, could not serve. And they've gotten much worse than that since 2020. This was 4 years ago. A study conducted 4 years ago, released by the military. What do you think it's like now with these bad muffins? It's probably 80 to 90%. So a lot of women who went and got these college degrees and are capable of actually doing something, they're going to be lined up. More women may end up qualifying for military service and required to serve in the military than men, than Gen Z men, because so many of them have fallen apart. They've given up. They don't even go to college. So if they're like, well, look at all of these women that are working, and oh, you're capable of holding a job, you don't have any substance abuse issues, you're not mentally incompetent, and we can work on that mental illness. Yeah, we'll take you. And they're going to leave the men behind because they legally cannot make them serve, because they're all smoking pot, getting drunk, have extraordinary mental illness, and are mentally incompetent. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy. Guys, what do you think? Men not working are crashing the economy. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. And cheers.